Hey there, Facebook. It is Vanessa here again, your speaker, trainer, and coach from Live, Love, Give. And today I've got kind of an interesting one, but of course the sun is just smashing me in the face while I've just gone live. But anyway, enough of the sun, and really wanting to tap into this because I'm finding it super interesting, and I can't wait to share this one with you. I've kind of spoken into this a few different times in terms of speaking into your subconscious mind and how it's really running the show, but that's why I have titled today's message, The Fact that 95% of who you are by the time that you're 35 years old is memorized. And I think this is just so cool, and I think it's a really good way of just kind of understanding how much of us is really actually consciously aware of what's going on, making our decisions, our choices, directing our lives, getting our results, and what's really at play there. But why I've said here that that 95% of who you are by the age of 35, this is all scientifically proven, is memorized, is really that by the time you're 35, you really have become a set of memorized behaviors, skills, emotional reactions, beliefs, perceptions, attitudes, and they all function like a subconscious automatic computer program. That's a good way that I'm learning from Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he's not the only person saying all this stuff, but currently he's my number one in my life in terms of my my learning, and definitely this is something that I'm really diving into deeply. As you guys are aware, particularly over the last few days, I have been making some major shifts and changes in my life, and coupling that with diving really deep into the meditative processes that are just blowing my mind. I had another really profound experience this morning with that, and you guys have been following my videos at least for the last couple of days. You know what I'm talking about. But ultimately, if we can understand that, that we are predominantly a set of memorized, behaviors, skills, emotional reactions, beliefs, perceptions, attitudes, if we can understand that most of that is memorized, then ultimately we can see that whatever our memories are, because memories are, from the past, right? We can see that who we continue to operate, if we don't have a conscious awareness over this, and if we don't have an avenue to tap into the subconscious and make some shifts and changes, if we don't consciously do that, we are literally living in the past, and we are literally bringing our past into our present and into our future. So if you want to grow, evolve, shift, change, break through, get to new levels of potential, empowerment, and all of that sort of stuff, then you absolutely need to have a way of tapping into that subconscious and making some shifts and changes, because otherwise you are literally a computer program, like an automatic computer program that is reacting the same old way that you've always reacted, and behaving the same old way that you've always behaved, and having the same beliefs and perceptions and attitudes and closed mindset that you've always had, and not having an avenue to grow and evolve and shift. And I think always the first level of being able to make a transformation and a change is that self-awareness piece. That's why I wanted to deliver this message for you guys today as a kind of wake-up call to go, whoa, like 95% of me is actually memorized. Even if you're not 35 just yet. I know I'm not 35 just yet, but maybe I've got a few more years under my belt to be able to not have 95% of me. But no, it doesn't quite work like that. But ultimately we kind of, lose our curiosity, lose our desire to learn, shift, evolve, change by that age, unfortunately. And instead of that, when we're consciously aware of that being the norm, we don't have to become the norm. We don't have to settle for mediocrity. We can reach for the extraordinary when we know what's at play and we know what we're working with. And so, like I said in my message a couple of days ago, if that's the case, and that 95% of us is living in the subconscious, being directed from the subconscious. God, this sun is smashing me. Then when we try and say think positive to make a shift and change, when we use our conscious mind to try and make that shift and change in our subconscious and what's really directing us, we are literally using 5% of the mind to try and out-battle the other 95%. And we're never really going to win like that, right? It's just too sparse, in that strength. So we need to realize that just thinking positive and trying to make a conscious change, like whether that's in any area of your life, like maybe say you've become quite overweight and you need to lose some weight, and you really consciously, you know what to do, you've got to go and exercise, you've got to stop eating poorly, you've got to make some better choices, maybe eat a little less, all these different things that you consciously know needs to change. But why is it that so many of us are overweight, so unhealthy, don't like that we are, but we can't seem to make any real traction and change with that? It's because we try and use that 5% of our mind's capacity, the conscious part, to make the shifts and changes that we're smart enough to know, and there's enough information that is available at our fingertips to know what to do and what not to do if we want to lose some weight, right? It's pretty common sense. We all can articulate how to do that, but the difference between us being able to put into action and sustain weight loss, as an example, is literally because what's going on in the subconscious needs to change. If we don't make the shift in our subconscious, which is all about those memorized behaviors, patterns, beliefs, perceptions, all of that sort of stuff. If we have a perception of ourselves as being an overweight person who can't control themselves, who has an all or nothing mentality. If I have, say, one unhealthy thing, it means I've got to eat the whole packet. And we have all these subconscious beliefs and perceptions and experiences and patterns of behavior and everything that are really driving the whole machine. It's really that automatic process, and we can't just shift it with the 5% who can have a bit of willpower in the moment and make the right decision. It's not going to be sustainable. And so when we can think about things like this, we can actually have some power to make some shifts and changes, because at the end of the day, it is our thinking and believing, that is determining our achieving. So we have to think about it that way. And we also have to know that if 95% of us is memorized thinking and believing, then we need to tap into that through a subconscious avenue. And I'm finding some real benefits in actually going through these particular meditative processes that are guided towards breaking through limiting beliefs. And also, I work with everybody. If you've been in my programs, you've gone through my limiting beliefs exercises. And more than likely, if you've been a coaching client with me, we have done this several times. So bringing the subconscious into the conscious. So I definitely want to check in with you guys, and I'm hoping that this has built a new level of self-awareness for you, to give you a new perspective on who's really behind the driver's seat, in terms of those memorized behaviors and perceptions and skills and all that sort of stuff that's really in your subconscious, that's that automatic computer programming guiding your every move. And to just think that you're going to change it consciously with that 5% capacity is just not going to be sustainable. So you have to have the avenue of diving deep into the subconscious. So let me check in. Have you got any questions or comments or any words of wisdom that you'd love to share with all of us today? Now is the time. I can't wait to check in with you guys. So why don't I do that? All right, so I've got Sam, of course I do. I love it. And Trish is in the house, and Gino, and Huss is here as well. And thank you always, Sam, for your kind compliments. And Alavarison, great to see you, my friend. And Alex is here, and Slogan, and Vanessa, hello to you again. Always love to see you. And good afternoon to you, Alavarison. Thank you, my friend. And Shane's here, great to see you, my friend. And Hader, hello to you. And Emma's here, awesome. And Sam, love subconscious topic, 95% is huge, absolutely. And there's a bit of, I'm rolling with the 95% right now, because that seems to be the largest, commonality between all of the different research and everything. But there is a guy named Professor Alan Schneider at the Center for the Mind, I think at Sydney University, and apparently he believes that it's actually 96% of is in your subconscious and only 4% conscious. But he's the only person I've come across who has those statistics, and I haven't been able to find his research that would back that up. So I'm just rolling with the 95 right now. For all of you people who are like really onto that, but yes, good to see you, Shane and Francisco and Renee and Vicky and Coralie and Adrian, awesome, and Gary and Maya, awesome to see you guys, and Eslam, thank you very much for your kind compliments, my friend, and Thomas, I'm loving that you're finding some truth here. And Eslam, much love to you. Very grateful to have you here. And Sam, being conditioned and programmed holds us back in a big way. Yeah, so, it's kind of like everything's got its drawbacks and its benefits, right? So, we want the subconscious to be, unconsciously guiding, our heartbeat and all the chemical different shifts and changes and all our cells and all that amazing stuff that we don't consciously, even breathing, we don't consciously have to think about in order to do so that we can actually survive, right? So we definitely want that condition and that memory and all that sort of subconscious intelligence going on. But there's also a big part of our lives that we want to, not be so conditioned and programmed with. Oh my gosh, I picked the sunniest time of the day. It's been like perfect all day. And anyway, but yes, absolutely, Sam. I love that. And Pankaj is here, and Mark, and Con, and Sam is shiny and radiant in the sun. Yeah, it's kind of blowing my mind. It's like so cold and cloudy, but the sun is just like popping through the clouds. And yes, Con's here, and Rista, and Krishna, and Eslam. You are different than every woman in the planet. You are distinctive. Thank you, Eslam. And I think each and every one of us is completely unique and special and different and beautiful. So I absolutely love that. And thank you so much, my friend. And Kylie's here. Awesome to see you. And Damien and Diaz and Sam. In my religious belief, I used to say the spirit is willing but body is weak. Spirit being conscious and body unconscious. Yeah, so I'm actually going through these processes with the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, and as you guys know, because I'm just obsessed right now, but ultimately what these meditations are really doing, and what I'm really learning about, like why we're doing it this way, is that when we can sense and feel, which is the language of the body, we can actually bypass the analytical mind. And in order to really tap into our subconscious, we actually need to be able to bypass the analytical mind and become more suggestible to ourselves. And that's how we can make a shift and a change from our limiting beliefs that are keeping us trapped, and the new empowering beliefs that we want to really step into and own. So it's really interesting, because I totally get what you mean there, Sam, and it's a way I've thought as well, and particularly in, when I started diving into A Course in Miracles, a brilliant book. There's a lot about that, shifting into the spirit and out of the body, and how the body is really the home of the ego and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I'm really tapping into the value of every single piece, the analytical mind and how that serves and supports us, our body and how that serves us and supports us, our subconscious and our spirit, and all those different things working in conjunction with one another. They're all there for a reason. Even our ego is there for a reason. It's a beautiful thing. But yes, absolutely. Really, that's been, I've done 4 days of this particular meditation that I'm doing every single morning, pretty close to when I wake up. And the reason why you do that is because you're still kind of in the brainwave pattern that is kind of can slip back more into this suggestible state. And part of the process of the meditation is to really feel into your body and perceive and sense kind of space, so that you kind of become a nobody. Anyway, I'm not going to go too far into that rabbit hole because I can sense it's going to go into this big deep dive. But at the end of the day, utilizing your senses and your body to allow you to bypass the analytical mind and tap more fully into the subconscious. Super powerful and super cool to learn about. And so I hope you guys are picking up the book. You Are the Placebo by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And once you've gone through that book, I'm going through it. I'm nearly done going through a second time, because what you can really understand what the why is and why you're doing it, that how to in terms of the meditation becomes so super easy. And I've had the most success in my entire life with meditation right now because I understand the process that I'm going through, and it's really valuable. So for any of you guys who are totally growth mindseted, I really encourage you to pick up that book. And I know every single one of you guys are totally growth mindseted if you're watching these videos. But hello to you, Damien and Vanessa. Is it true then that the older you are, the harder it is to change? Well, you know what? I'm starting to believe now with the placebo effect and what I'm learning, oh my gosh, it is blowing my mind, that if you believe that the older you get, the harder it is to change, then that will become your reality. But if you really have a belief that you can constantly, you are in control, you're in the driver's seat of making the shifts and changes no matter what your age, then that will become your reality. So your thinking actually determines a whole series of events and chemical reactions. So your thinking and believing determine your health of your body and how it, if it's going to make those shifts and changes or whatever it is. I'm actually going to be doing a pretty deep, intense training for you guys on this stuff because this is my full immersion, and I'm currently about to dive into some courses on this. So stay tuned. All of you guys who are in the monthly masterclasses, this is what is coming up. Not quite just yet. I've got to be the guinea pig a whole bunch more before I get to the point of really being able to teach this masterclass, but I am so excited for what's coming up for you guys. And yes, and what I do believe is that because what happens is when we don't operate consciously and over time we just keep living our lives and we just keep living on the surface, then we become more and more memorized patterns. It's like the train, it's like the car on the dirt tracks, we just keep running the same patterns. So neurons that fire together wire together. We keep strengthening the same tracks. We don't consciously make the shifts and changes. So that is why, we start to think that, the older we get, they're kind of, that's just the way they are. They can't change now, all of that sort of thing. And, the individual has to be the one to make those shifts and changes, but it really does start with a belief whether or not you can change. And that's really what the placebo effect is all about. So please get that book. Oh my gosh, I'm so obsessed with it. But yes, I hope that was of value to you, Vanessa. And I always appreciate your questions and you being here. And Damien, never too late to change your pathway. Exactly. I love that. And such an empowered mindset to have, because as you guys are always hearing me reiterate Henry Ford's quote, that, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. Whether you believe you can or you can't, you're right. Everything starts with the thought and the belief. And you will, if you pick up this book or download it on Audible and really dive into it, there are so many case studies of how this is really true and people making their own shifts and changes. This sun is killing me. And Paul's here. Awesome to see you, Paul. And GD, yay. And Huss, great to see you, V. Always great to see you, Huss. I miss you guys. And Sep's here as well. And Sam, what other avenues have you developed of penetrating unconscious? Yeah, so mainly what I have done is tap into different journaling practices in the past, because when you engage both physical writing, with quality questions, you can actually, access both the emotional and the analytical part of the brain to be able to dive more fully into it. And generally, to dive into the subconscious and get beyond the conscious, it takes a lot of questioning. That is why if you utilize the work of Dr. John Demartini, he gets you to not just come up with like one or two reasons why you want to shift something, or advantages, disadvantages is what he tends to find. He will get you to really kind of work with like uncovering hundreds of different reasons, because it's oftentimes at the bottom, it's like at least the 10th and beyond that are really tapping into the subconscious ways of your thinking that are really driving your behavior. But also, this process that I'm learning about now, I've never before really experienced. Only once at a Date with Destiny Tony Robbins event have I gotten to this level of profound, like tears of gratitude streaming down my face, feeling so connected, feeling so, it's going to sound a bit woo-woo, but up into the quantum field of reality, beyond the physical, beyond your ego, but beyond who you are, where you really do become just consciousness. You just become thought. It's hard for me to kind of articulate. That is why I keep saying to you guys, please read this book so you understand why, and so you become suggestible to the process so that you get maximum value from it, and then go into these processes and fully surrender. And you will get the experience that I'm kind of been talking about over the last few days. But yes, so meditation and journaling practices have been the way that I have gotten beyond the analytical mind and tapped into the subconscious, and really, tapped into something larger than just ourselves, a grander sort of level of where you just kind of merge into consciousness and lose the body, lose time, and all of those sort of things. So I hope that wasn't too down a rabbit hole. But I hope that answered your question as well, Sam. And Stephen's here, and Gael, awesome to see you again. And Paul's here as well, awesome. And Wendy, I'll watch the replay. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you too, beautiful. And always grateful to hear from you. And Gail, I joined too late. We'll see the replay. Lots of love. I'm so grateful that you guys are catching the replay, and I hope it's of value to you guys. And Zook, do you think bad or good memory can shape ourselves to be better? Okay, so that is a really good question. What I would say is, memory is holding on to the experiences of the past. So, I tend to be somebody who is highly future orientated, and anybody who knows me might think that I'm a little bit kind of weird, as I think I'm kind of weird, but the past, I kind of lose my perception of it, and it serves me and sometimes it doesn't. And also, if we're going to talk personality psychology, which I don't want to go down too many rabbit holes with you guys, but ultimately in personality psychology, how I am tended to be wired is very future projection, and the process that taps into our past and really all of our past experiences is kind of like a bit of a trickster for me. It kind of like prevents me from tapping into a real strength in memory, and that serves me and doesn't at different times. So everything's in balance. But what I would say is that if we are too attached to memories of the past, whether good or bad, we're really just recreating the same beliefs, the same perceptions, the same behaviors, all of those same reactions, and we're bringing the past into our present and our future ultimately, and that's what's directing our results. So I really do believe that the only times to go back into your past and really tap into those memories to learn the lessons and gain the wisdom, and also to reminisce about things that you're grateful for that connect you brilliantly to who you want to be and the people that you want to love. All right. So I would say that's the 2 reasons to go back into the memories, and anything that empowers you, absolutely, but don't go back into the past so much that it becomes your reality and prevents you from evolving beyond who you've been. So hope that answers your question, Zook, and I very much appreciate your questions and for you being here. And Shane, I think you just bring sunshine to the live each time. Always love it every time. Thanks, Ness. Thank you so much, Shane. You made me laugh. I love that. I don't know. It just turns on. It must be this time of day. I don't know. Maybe I'm raining in the sunshine. I don't know. But who knows? And at least I'm getting some sunshine in this cold weather. So thank you, Shane. I love you joining me live as always. And Wayan is here. And Sam, I feel your energy has shifted in the 4 days you've been meditating. Thank you, Sam. And yes, I know you are so tuned into energies across time, space, borders, oceans, all of it. So thank you, my friend. I have just, I've correlated this with starting this particular process, but the very same day I started this process, and I've been reading this book for the last couple of weeks, but ultimately making that shift into that meditation allowed me to cut ties and cut the cord with a relationship that was no longer serving either one of us, and that had been kind of draining my energy up and down for a long time, and probably much so theirs as well. It's kind of been this beautiful immersion and everything working in conjunction, but I just feel amazing in terms of my energy and tapping into a level of clarity and vision and gratitude and joy. I could get just completely, like, I've got tears of gratitude in my eyes right now, because that is what I'm really experiencing. Stepping into a new reality, a new future, and more inspiration, and letting go of those things that hold us back from the past, including limiting beliefs that we all have as human beings. And there's always another level and a layer to really get beyond. That is definitely what I've been experiencing. So I'm grateful that you can pick up on that and sense that, Sam. So much love for you, my friend. I always feel like just known by you throughout our entire connection. So thank you so much, my friend. And Karina, great to see you. And Vanessa, you're so welcome. Grateful that was of value. And Manoj, I'm a warrior. I love it. Thank you. And Shane, what you're saying makes so much sense, and totally agree with you 100%. I love hearing that, Shane. Thank you so much for letting me know. And Dave, can you share again the name of the book? Yes, absolutely. It might be, I've actually got this, my iPad on top of it to hide. This is the book. Oh no, the sun's killing me. It's back the front, all sorts of things. It is called You Are the Placebo, Making Your Mind Matter by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And I will link it up for you guys straight after here, so you guys can have the spelling and all of that great stuff. So thank you for asking, Dave, and I really hope that you're going to get this book, and I can't wait to hear from you guys about how you are finding that the book, learning about it, going through the meditation. Oh my gosh, changing lives. Absolutely. Love Dr. Joe Dispenza. And Manoj, I'm loving that you are 100% in agreement with today's message. And Shane, Stullard, good to see you as well, my friend, as always. And Wendy, can I share this on my group? Awesome. Wendy, absolutely. The greatest gift that you guys can ever give to me is to share any content of mine that you find valuable and you think others would find valuable. That is absolutely. The more people I can get in front of, that is what I do. So that would be an honor and a gift for me for you to share in any group or anywhere you so please. So thank you, Wendy. And Matthew's here as well, and Ram's in the house. I love it. And Sam, not a rabbit hole at all. Great and empowering feedback. Thank you, superstar. Boom. I love it. Well, I love rabbit holes. So I'm always kind of consciously trying to hold myself back from turning what should be just like, a short video for you guys into an entire day of me just deep diving into all elements. So Yes, I appreciate that feedback too, Sam. And Gabrielle, great to see you, beautiful. And you're so welcome. I'm grateful that this message is serving you. And Filippo is here. And Ashley and Darren. Hi, I think you looked lovely, romantic woman. I wish you were my wife. Thank you very much, Darren. I am going to take that as a massive compliment, and I really appreciate you being here, my friend. Sending you much love. And Michelle is here, and Mentis, lovely story. Loving that this is resonating with you. And Ray's in the house, and Josie and Sam. So much love and gratitude for your reflection and appreciation of our deep connection and energy alignment. I'm just grateful for it, Sam. Absolutely. Very grateful that our paths have crossed, and definitely so grateful for each and every one of you guys for joining me live. I really hope that today's message has served you, empowered you, got you to a new level of conscious awareness so that you can recognize that 95% of who you are at this point in life is, a set of memorized behaviors, beliefs, skill sets, perceptions, attitudes, all of those sort of things, reactions, emotional reactions, all of it. And when you can understand that, and you can understand why it's 95%, is because you've programmed it into an automatic system in your subconscious, then you can understand that you need to go about uncovering a process that works for you to tap into your subconscious, to make some shifts and changes. I would really encourage you to come into my programs because I go into this very deeply and give you specific processes to be able to do this. But definitely pick up Dr. Joe Dispenza's book, You Are the Placebo. Read through it before you do the meditation so that you really know the value of what you're going into, so that you can ultimately surrender to the process and get beyond your analytical mind, because it's already been fed with why you're doing what you're doing. Okay, so I really encourage you to do it in that order. And I can just see that I've got Heinz and Sanula and Yusuf just joining, and I really hope that you guys are going to catch the recording and get a ton of value, because I'm signing off, and as always, I'm sending you all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I really hope it's beautiful, amazing, and extraordinary, and I hope that you are going to have an amazing rest of your day or night wherever you are. And thank you so much, Shane. I will have a great Sunday night. Going to go hit up a movie, so I can't wait. Just a bit of a relaxation afternoon. And Heinz, thank you so much, my friend. And I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Sending you much love, and I cannot wait to see you then.